From the event that never happened to the awareness that was there for the one that did. There is a version of your life in which you made the other choice. You know which choice? The one that has been running in the background is the alternative, the path taken and the path not taken, occupying the same cognitive space, the actual life and the shadow life running in parallel. The conversation that went wrong, and the version in which it went right, the decision made under pressure, and the version in which you had more time. The thing said, and the thing that should have been said. The shadow life is vivid. The shadow life has never existed anywhere. Regret requires a counterfactual, a model of how things could have been. This model must be specific enough to feel real, not just things could have been better, but here is the specific better thing that could have occurred. The specificity is what gives regret its particular ache. The shadow life is not vague, it is detailed. You can almost see it, you have furnished it. You know what the other choice would have felt like. The shadow life is vivid. You have furnished it with everything the actual life was missing. The comparison is between your actual life and a fantasy you built to make the actual life insufficient. The fantasy always wins. The other choice was never made. Therefore, the scenario in which it was made has never existed anywhere in physical reality. It exists only in your nervous system. It is a model. A fiction, not in the sense of being false about human experience, but in the sense of being a narrative constructed about events that did not occur. You are grieving something that was never real. The grief is real. The object of the grief is a story. The other life you are comparing your actual life to has never existed. You built it yourself. You have furnished it with everything you wanted, and none of what made the actual choice hard. The comparison is between a real life and a curated fantasy. The fantasy always wins. There is the loss itself, the relationship, the opportunity, the version of yourself that didn't emerge, real. Then the counterfactual, the shadow life running in parallel, the model of what was possible. The evidence used to build the case against the actual. Then the meta layer, the judgment that the wrong choice was made, and therefore the judgment that the one who made it is the kind of person who makes wrong choices. The regret becomes evidence about character. The specific choice becomes a verdict about the self. You are prosecuting someone for making the best decision available with the information they had. The prosecutor has information the decision maker didn't have. This is not a fair trial. The regret engine does not just mourn the past. It prosecutes the person who lived it. You are prosecuting someone for making the best decision available with the information they had at the time. The prosecutor has information the decision maker didn't have. This is not a fair trial. Stop regretting. The regret mechanism runs below the level of the decision to stop regretting. You can decide to stop and find the counterfactual still running in the background, still comparing, still building the case. The mechanism does not receive instructions from the layer that decides to stop it. Reframe the choice as the best available given the information at the time. Useful. Partially effective. The regret mechanism is not convinced by accurate reframings. It was built on a different logic than reframing can reach. Make the choice mean something. Use the outcome, however it went, as the raw material for the current life, the most sophisticated response to regret available. And the shadow life keeps running alongside the actual one, more vivid than the reframe, more emotionally available than the meaning you've made. 3 exits, 3 sealed doors. The Titan looks at the choice you regret and finds a decision made in a moment that no longer exists, by a version of you that no longer exists, the consequences of which will cease to be distinguishable from the background noise of a life within, at most 100 years. The consequences of which will cease to be distinguishable from the background noise of a life within, at most 100 years. Shadow life, the one in which the other choice was made. The Titan cannot find it. It is not in the geological record. It was never in the geological record. It existed only in a nervous system that will become ash. Two lives, the actual one and the shadow one. The Titan can only measure the actual one. The shadow one is not even ash. It was never anything. Utpaladeva, in the Ishvara Pratyabhijna Karikas, Pratyabhijna recognition, not the acquisition of something new, the remembering of what was always already the case. Recognize who is doing the prosecuting. The prosecutor is also a content of awareness. The awareness that is aware of the prosecutor is not on trial. The awareness that was present at the moment of the actual choice, receiving the full complexity of the situation, the partial information, the emotional pressure, the genuine uncertainty, is the same awareness present now for the regret. It has not changed between the two. It received the difficult choice and is receiving the regret. Recognize this, the shadow life, the counterfactual, the version of you who made the other choice. These are contents of present awareness. They are arising now, in the awareness that is here now. They are not memories of a real alternative. They are present tense mental objects appearing in present tense consciousness. The regret is happening now. The event being regretted happened then. The awareness present for both, one awareness, not divided by the time between them. Receiving both in the same undivided present. Recognize who is doing the prosecuting. The prosecutor is also a content of awareness. The awareness that is aware of the prosecutor is not on trial. Has never been on trial. The gavel does not reach it.